We are discussing chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and in that yesterday we just started but we could not discuss it fully. Vidya mam somapa putapapa yagiristva swargatim prarthayate te punyamasadya surendraloka masnanti divyan divideva bhogan. इसके पहले before this Lord had explained us His divine qualities, glories, what is known to the realized souls. They know the Lord in His true sense, but the ignorant person, they don't know Him. And this is what we saw yesterday. As the sun, I give heat, I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and also death, both the pairs of opposites. Existence and non-existence, O Arjuna, everything is I am. And now he says, Vidya mam somapaha putapapaha yagyairistva swargatim prarthayante te punyam asadya surendra lokam asnanti divyan divideva bhagan. The knowers of the three Vedas, the drinkers of Soma, purified of all sins, worshipping me by sacrifices, pray for the way to heaven. There is the holy world of the Lord of the gods, and enjoy in heaven the divine pleasures of the gods. Those who know the Vedas, Vedas have two parts. One is path to knowledge, the other is path for a prosperous, happy, worldly life. That is possible by the yajna, sacrifice. And that is how we have seen the Creator, when created these different kinds of beings. Created means planned and imagined, and they manifested by His nature. So at the same time, He thought of the mediocre, the cooperating or joining factor, that is called the link between every two, and that is also the bridge, the link, the connecting rod between the subtler beings and the grosser beings. That is nothing other than yajna. Sahajajna prajasuštva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavisyadva eso astu ishtakama dhuk Oh, my dear children of different kinds, I have created this connecting rod, connecting intermediators. Use this and have relationship between yourselves, and thereby you can deal well among yourselves. You can have relationships, and thereby by helping each other you will lead a happy, prosperous life. Because the Creator wanted the creation, so He had to think of its growth. He never thought of its destruction. But of course, the nature has to do its work. The nature has three qualities, sattva, rajas, tamas. So also it has got the three kinds of same existence, and for some time its maintenance, and then its destruction. Then only the creation is creation. Whatever is manifested, it has to disappear also. So that is the nature's law. Nature does everything in a cycle. So it has to do its job. But at the same time, it goes on eternally. What goes on eternally? This cycle goes on eternally. What is the cycle? Appearance, sustenance, and then disappearance. This is the cycle. It goes on eternally. That is how Lord has explained before it. When the day breaks, the unmanifested manifests, and all these beings, imaginary beings, they are forced to come out of the womb of the Hiranyagarbha, and that is the nature, and they have to take some names and forms, and they have to appear for some time, just as the bubbles in the ocean, and then they have to subside in the womb itself at the end of the day. In this way, the Creator starts his game. So, it goes on eternally, and the joining or the connecting link created by the Brahma, the Creator, that is yajna. And this yajna is a way to have happy, prosperous, and joyful life again and again. It is not the end of the life, but cycle of the life. So that is mentioned in the Vedas also. So both ways, karma and jnana. Karma with desires, and when there is no desire, one is satisfied with his desires, or one who is dispassionate towards his desires, then he has to apply his discrimination power, and then he tries to give up the cycle and get rid of all these bondage to come and go again and again. That is called path of knowledge. So in this way, Lord now is explaining both the sides to Arjuna. He explained the ways of great people, realized souls, one who knows the Lord in his true sense, and the other ignorant folks, they only do everything without knowing anything, being forced by the nature, and they have to do all these kinds of desirous sacrifices. Before it, Lord also explained the sacrifice of Jnana Yajna. Just before it, Lord has explained us. And before it also, he said, I am the sacrifice and I am the receiver of sacrifice. I am the Yajna Purush and I am the Dhata, Vidhata, Pita, Ahamasya Jagato, Mata, Dhata, Pitamaha, Vedyam, Pavitram Onkar, Riksham, Jajurevacha. In this way, he has given all his different aspects. He has kept all these before Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, have your choice. You are not forced. Just you have to understand what to do and what not to do. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasah Saranam Surit Prabha Pralayasthanam Nidhanam Bijamabhyayam. He said also, Aham Kratu, Aham Yajna, Swadha, Aham Ausadham, Mantroham, Aham Evaja, Aham Agni, Aham Hutam. I am everything. Now you have to choose where to go, what to accept, and what to do. Tapamyaham aham varsam nigrinam srijami cha amritam jayam nityuscha sadasatcha Arjuna. I am everything. Now he says, Vidya mam somapaha putapapa yajniristva swargatim prarthayante. Some desirous people, one who wants to enjoy a glorious, joyful life, prosperous life, they adopt the path of Karma Yoga. The knowers of the three Vedas, the drinkers of Soma. Soma is a kind of a higher liquor, which is not so toxicant, but which acts as a purifier also. So it is said that gods drink soma. Somapaha. Somapaha, one who drinks the soma. So in this way, the gods are said to be somapaha, one who drinks the nectarian intoxicant. Yes.
So Maharaj, from relative point of view, if you have to understand like how do we eat food?
Pardon?
Like how do we take food?
Ah.
In relative, how do we take food? So like that, gods those who don't have the physical body, they drink that liquor, that
No,
specific liquor.
no, everything in a subtle way. They take food also, but subtle food in the form of five tanmatras. They smell, they see, they hear, and they taste. This not by gross senses, but by these subtle senses. So they get satisfied by that. Because they are with subtle bodies, so they accept subtle matters. And that is how yajna performs the link, the work of a link. Yajna, sacrificial fire, we have discussed it so many times. It is fire, it is the mediocre between the subtle and gross. The fire makes the subtle gross, and gross is turned into subtle objects by the fire only. So fire is taken as the mouth of the sacrificial. So sacrifice is done by fire. But fire also is not only gross fire which we see. The heat also is fire. The cold also is fire. We have discussed it. Just as the temperature gives you only the measurement of the heat, that is in plus way and in minus way. We call it cold or heat, but it is only the degrees of fire that we have seen. So everywhere the subtle and gross should be considered. So food also like that. Generally we see the cook, they are not good eaters, because when they cook the food, they smell it, they see it, they get satisfaction of it. They don't feel so much hungry. Just as the hungry people like to eat, the cooks never hurry for eating. Their mind is satisfied. So, in this way, subtle food and gross food. See, you eat gross food. What about the trees? They have also need of food. They take everything in the form of sap, or they cook the food in the leaves by sunlight and by other process. So they eat food. Food is unavoidable for all the beings. Something when is changed as energy, that is called food. One energy is food for the other energy. In that way, all these vegetation life is used as food only. And the whole world is created as food, Anna vai Brahma, Anna Brahma. One energy is transferred into the other energy, that becomes food for the other. Everything is food here. So, subtle also food, grass also is food, everything is food only. and that is otherwise understood as cause and effect, or the transformation of energy from one to the other. From every angle we have to see. So in this way, the gods are the drinkers of Soma Ras. They take some liquid which is soothing for the subtle bodies, and it gives energy, just as all other drugs, gross, we use as drugs, and it gives energy, of course. In different ways we get slave to it. That becomes our you see, without that we cannot live our life. This is how some energetic food, that is called drug. So now Soma is the essence of some creeper, that is called Somalata, and that gives some soothing effect to the bodies. And the gods, they drink only Soma, so they are called Somapa, drinkers of the Soma. And that purifies also the body. The knowers of the three Vedas, the drinkers of Soma, purified of all sins, worshipping me by sacrifices, pray for the way to heaven, may reach the holy world of the Lord of the gods, and enjoy in heaven the divine pleasures of the gods. Divine pleasures are nothing but subtle enjoyments, that's all. Just as you go on thinking of some good poems or good essays or something which you enjoy mentally, that is also enjoyment. So gods enjoy in that way. Many aspirants climb up to a certain height on the ladder of yoga. They are irresistibly swept away by the temptation of the higher planes, the heaven and the plane of the celestial beings. We call them gods. Gods are nothing but subtle-bodied identities, and some special gods, they are the caretaker of subtler governance of the whole nature. They are called Vasus, or different planets and different kind of aspects are given to them. And Indra, the king of all gods, he has kept his department in his hand, that is the life source, that is called water. Water is the life source. So Varuna is the preserver. He preserves everything, but distributor and handler is Indra, the god of gods, the king of gods. In this way, different departments, say the wealth department, Kubera is the storekeeper, treasurer, and the subtle wealth, and Lakshmi is distributor. In this way, different gods are responsible of different aspects of the nature. So they are called gods. They had subtle body and subtle powers also, governing powers. They lose their, some people, they like to go to heaven. Heaven means the realm where the subtle-bodied gods enjoy the subtler enjoyments. So everybody like to go to heaven and enjoy, just as the poor people dream of five-star hotel, the royal palace, how the king will be eating food made up of gold only, golden rice in golden plate with golden hearts he must be eating. Some dream. In this way, some aspirants, when they come to this spiritual path, they are swayed away by desires and they like to have heavenly enjoyments. The celestial dancers should come before me and they should dance and sing before me and I shall enjoy it. In this way, some peculiar desires they have and they strive for it and they work for it. They lose their power of discrimination and right understanding and thereby lose themselves in the heavenly enjoyments. The dwellers of the higher planes, the shining ones, the gods, they are called devatas, means shining ones. Tempt the aspirants in a variety of ways. They say unto them, O yogi, we are very much pleased with your austerities and dispassion and spiritual practices and divine qualities. This is the plan for your final resting, which you have obtained through your merit and your austerities. We are all your servants to obey your order and carry out your commands or behests. Here is the celestial car for you. You can move about anywhere you like. Here are the celestial damsels to attend on you. They will please you with their celestial music. Here is the wish-fulfilling tree, which will give you whatever you want. Here is the celestial nectar in the golden cup. Aha. Just as we think of the dream of the royal palace and how the king must be eating golden rice in golden plate with golden teeth. Similarly, these the gods, they persuade, they 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 manipulate these beings. Everywhere it is seen. If you are a sadhak, you will like others to be sadhaks like you. When you are a sannyasin, so you like sannyasins only. Birds of same feather gather together. If you are a grihasti, you will like all should be grihastis only. So, these gods also, they like everybody should come to the heaven and enjoy like us, and will be supported. So they persuade these aspirants by giving them some uh, good gifts or something. Yes.
So they will try to give them swamparas also?
Pardon, Samaras, when you reach there, then only you will be allowed to drink. Not here.
Welcome drink.
Welcome drink. They will welcome you. This is how so many stories you have heard. I told once the story of Pradyumna, who went to Brahmalok and enjoyed there for so many years, so many yugas, and when the merit is exhausted, just as five-star hotel, when your money is gone, exhausted, then you will be thrown back, get out, bring some more money, and then come here. So same thing in the heaven, in different kinds of heaven, different planes, they are only mental worlds, nothing else. As you think, so you become. When you think so intensely here in this life, life afterwards, you enjoy those thoughts in a subtler way. That is called heaven or hell. When you have done some sins, you have done some offenses, you know it, you cannot forget it. Your chitta is the storehouse of all these memories. You cannot forget it. You may hide to others, but you cannot hide yourself. So they come out at the time of departure from this body, and they lead you in the subtler worlds. That is, we have discussed it so elaborately. What happens to the soul at the time of departure in 8th chapter? And this is how only your thoughts you enjoy in subtler world, and you enjoy it as if it is true, just as you enjoy at the time of imaginary worlds here in this life itself. Go and imagine on the future plans how much enjoy you. So in this way, only in the thought worlds they enjoy and they suffer. That is called heaven and hell, nothing else. All these lokas, different planes, are within you only. There is nothing other than your mind. So, here is the wish fulfilling tree which will give you whatever you want. Here is the celestial nectar in the golden cup which will make you immortal. Here is the celestial lake of supreme joy. You can swim freely in this lake. The unconscious yogi is easily carried away by the invitation of the gods and the sweet flowery speeches. He gets false satisfaction or contentment. He thinks that he has reached the highest goal of yoga. He yields to the temptations and his energy is dissipated in the various directions. As soon as his merits are exhausted, he comes down to this earth plane. He will have to start again his upward climb on the spiritual ladder once more. When you fall down from the ladder, what do you want? What do you do? Again you have to climb. But that dispassionate yogi who is endowed with a strong discrimination rejects ruthlessly these invitations from the gods. That is what we saw in the story of Jajati. Jajati, the ancestor of our Lord Krishna, Yaduvans. Jajati was a very righteous king. He did so much meritorious deeds. Indra had to be forced to send the celestial chariot to bring Jajati in the body itself, gross body, to the heaven. And Jajati asked the messengers sincerely, "O Devadutas, can you explain me what are the merits and demerits in the heaven?" So the messengers explained everything. There is all the demerits, but in a higher level. Everyone is jealous of each other. Everyone is in the competition field. So there is no real happiness in the heaven. So Jajati decided, I shall make a better heaven in this earthly plane. Why should I go to heaven? He denied, and he did it because all the subjects, they were so devoted to the king, they obeyed whatever the king ordered. And he made this earth better than heaven. So the king of gods, Indra, he was so much jealous of the earth, the kingdom of Jajati, even far better than Ramarajya. Everybody was ever young, everybody was fond of each other, loving each other, cooperating with each other, brotherhood, love, everything reigned in the earthly plane. There was no death. Everybody was enjoying sound health because all these diseases and all these sufferings are the result of sins. We do something wrong, as a result we have to suffer. That suffering is known as a disease. So one who always does meritorious deeds, he will have no disease, no old age, no death, no untiming death. So in this way the earth became better than heaven. So Indra had to play mischief. And he called Saraswati the goddess of thoughts and speech and intellect. He requested her, go and disturb the Sumati of Raja Jajati. Sumati, the sattvic mind of Raja Jajati, so that he will do something wrong, and then all the subjects will start doing wrong things, and then they will think of heaven, or else they don't care for heaven. And that the story goes on. So in this way, these gods are jealous of worldly people. They persuade them. Yogi who is endowed with strong discrimination rejects ruthlessly these invitations from the gods and marches boldly on his spiritual path and stops not till he attains the highest rung on the ladder of yoga, or the highest summit on the hill of knowledge, or nirvikalpa samadhi. He is fully conscious that enjoyments in heaven are as much worthless as those of this illusory world. The pleasures of heaven are subtle, exceedingly intense, and extremely intoxicating. That is the reason why the unconscious, non-vigilant, and less dispassionate aspirant yields easily to the temptations of the higher planes. Even in this physical plane, in the West and in America, where there is abundance of wealth, plenty of dollars and gold, people enjoy subtle and intense sensual pleasures. Every day, scientists bring out new inventions, new forms of sensual pleasures for the gratification of the mischievous and revolting senses. We were discussing only now, before class, this thing. These are only temptations to engage the mind in all these affairs, nothing else. It is good for the worldly people, but for the spiritual seekers, it is harmful in the other way. Even an abstemious man of simple habits of India becomes a changed man when he lives in America or Europe for some time. They dream of America. Why? Only for enjoyments. I shall tell you, one old Swamiji who has passed away now. He was my very favorite, and once I went to his ashram, and many of his disciples, household disciples, they are in Gujarat. Many Gujaratis, they are abroad. One of my closest friend in Gujarat, Vadodara, whole family has gone to America and settled there. Now they have forgotten India. So I went to Swamiji, and Swamiji had been to America and Europe, and he had come back. He doesn't know much English, but his disciples took him around. And when he comes back, I reached Swamiji's ashram. He was praising America and Europe. Premanand, you must go. I asked Swamiji, I must go. But what for? Now you must see these foreigners, foreign lands, they are full of prosperity. And see, so many new things you will see there. I said, tell me one at least. He said, it is so clean and everybody is laborious there. Everybody does labor there. I laughed at him. I said, Swamiji, if you clean your ashram, it will become America. Why shall I go to America to clean only, to see only cleanliness? I wash my cloth as I like. Why should I follow others? Now about all these prosperity, what do they do with that prosperity? They enjoy only. That I don't want. Why should I go? And laborious, these people who are so lazy fellows, I have known so many people who were sleeping here, they go and they hurt their ego. We belong to higher families. We cannot do ordinary sweeping or cleaning vessels or houses. They go there for money's sake. They wash the vessels and they do all sorts of nonsense for money's sake. And they earn money. Without money they cannot live a single day. So they have to strive hard. And if same people work here, India will be not golden but full of diamonds. These same fellows, they work so hard there, and when they come to India, they will just talk of America and they don't do here anything. Labor anywhere you can do. Why only in America? Why not in India? Money is everything there. And what freedom we have in India, that they cannot dream of it. What freedom we enjoy here in India, it is really heaven. They don't understand. So I told Swamiji, I don't have such desires to see all these. I understand. I can make my ashram better than America. In my ashram, nobody weeps, nobody has jealousy, nobody has enmity with each other. So is it not better than America? I clean my room every day. I clean my own clothes. I don't allow others to wash my clothes. Of course, nowadays, because of my physical inability, I allow others. So I said, Swamiji, I have seen all these mentally. I don't like all these. I have promised not to go. I have taken a vow not to go. So many people, they invite me from all over the world. Swamiji, why don't you come? Why should I come? People will be benefited. Oh, they are so much anxious to be benefited from me. Can't they come here? Huh? I never deny anyone. Why should I go there? All these are only mental, some hallucinations, some imagination that there is happiness. Like that, the heaven is very pleasant. Oh, we can enjoy in the heaven. Everything is in your mind itself. You can make your home better than Vaikuntha. Some said, some great saint made a poem. Oh, that house is better than Vaikuntha, where there is mutual understanding and cooperation and love for each other. That family is better than your Vaikuntha. The Vishnu Lord, Vishnu abides in that family. So all these are mental hallucinations, nothing else. Even an abstemious man of simple habits of India becomes a changed man when he lives in America or Europe for some time. He yields to temptations. Such is the power of Maya. Such is the influence of temptations. Such is the strength of the senses. That man who is endowed with strong discrimination, sustained dispassion, good self-analytic power, and burning yearning for liberation, can resist all temptations and he alone can be really happy. He alone can attain the highest goal of life, the final beatitude of the sublime vision of the infinite. Those who drink the Swama juice are purified from sin. Sacrifices such as the Agnihotra, Jyotistoma, they worship me as the Vastus and other deities, Rudras and Adityas, by sacrifices such as the Agnistoma. Indra is the lord of the gods. He is called Satakratu because he had performed 100 sacrifices. The divine pleasures are the supernatural pleasures of the heaven. Divya Bhoga and Asnante Divyan Divideva Bhogan. They enjoy the celestial enjoyments. Divya Bhoga, an enjoyment that is beyond the earth of, beyond the reach of the man, or an enjoyment that can be had only by the celestial body of the gods, or an enjoyment given by the gods in the heaven. The term bhoga indicates sensual pleasures. Though the heavenly pleasures are of a very subtle nature, yet they are sensual pleasures only. They are not real pleasures. So tomorrow we shall see the next sloka where he goes further to explain Tetam muktva swarga bhuktva swargalokam visalam chine punye martyalokam visanti evam traidharma manu prapanna Gatagatam kama kama labhante. These desirous people, they are fallen into this cycle, going to the higher level of life and again come to the lower level, and this is how the cycle goes on of birth and death and enjoyment and sufferings. It goes on in eternally in cycle. That we shall see tomorrow. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavaseshyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai. Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Sachidananda Bhagavan ki jai. Gita Mata ki jai. Hari Om. Nowadays